bring us in?
I was waiting on the engineer to cue me up.
Oh, I got you.
I be reading her lips and her eyes. Good morning. This is Straight Talk Morning Show, and my name is Andre Hill Sr. and our co-host Andre Hill Jr. and the third Andre will be in shortly. So we're covering some heavy topics. I posted the items of discussion last night on Facebook. And so some of the links got jammed. So we must have hit a soft spot with this post from last night.
You jacked up somebody church's money. That's what happened. Somebody church's money got stifled.
Oh man, that's deep, man. I'm going like so. I had some people say, "Hey, man, when the black folks gonna do their own Facebook, get their own internet?" You know?
Yeah, you know what? There's some platforms out there now. Truth of the matter is this, we done got spoiled on Facebook because it got all the bells and whistles. But there's some platforms out there right now. It's just we got to break the habit, like you say.
Yeah.
Break the habit of scrolling the way we know how to scroll on Facebook.
Yeah.
And just shift to the other platform. But yeah, we have some black-owned social media sites right now is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And but are they going to be as technical and just accommodating as Facebook? No, not right now. But it's just like with any black business, we know we have to patronize them until they can get 20,000 square feet worth of commercial building, so they can hire 2,000 people to be in different tech departments running this platform.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that's we have some black platforms right now.
So do you know the name of those platforms?
Why you call me out like that?
Okay, so next week, you and Andre, you all be running the show. I mean, you guys should bring out.
Oh yeah.
You start, do your research, because it's as simple as this. If your oppressor has been oppressing you for 400 years, or in some cases 2,000 years, right, and their whole culture is built around eliminating eliminate your access to the truth.
Right.
So whenever you try to start waking up and no longer want to be oppressed or a slave or a host to a parasite,
right,
then that parasite is going to start to reacting and doing crazy things, like blocking posts, interrupting the internet systems. This post is broken.
Right.
So all you techies out there, okay, listen. All the knowledge in the universe, it comes through. Well, first of all, black folks, your pineal gland is in working order. It hasn't been calcified, and so it's so you can, whatever technology you need, all you got to do is meditate, or as good old church folks say, pray on it. But don't pray. Ask your ancestors in your meditation. If you are a techie person, they'll download all the answers to you. All you got to do is clean your body up, go into a quiet place and open up.
True that.
And so we need to do our own, because now these 1%ers that control all the media, they're fearful.
Very.
Yeah.
Right now.
And when they start doing things like blocking stuff, so we need to so all you techie people, if you don't know how to do it, if you're fearful of doing it, come get with UPA.
Fearful of doing what?
Just putting together the structure.
Oh, putting together the business plan.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, we'll help you with the business plan. We'll help you with security, because there's a supernatural security that you need to understand in order to do this. Okay? We will show you and guide you every step of the way. Let's do our own Facebook. Let's do our own networking. It's just preservation.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because, your oppressor does not want you to become free.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about what I posted last night. All right. So I said, good evening, Facebook friends. the paradigm shift for black people won't happen until we elevate our level of consciousness, or our consciousness to the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I was watching a documentary last week about what was going on in the 50s and the 60s. Right. And somewhere either in Mississippi or Alabama, you had these highway patrol or these Confederate police forces guarding the state buildings to prevent black people from entering to vote.
Right.
Okay. Right. And so the psychology at that time, they would always get the biggest and the tallest Caucasians,
right?
And to come and stand out front, to intimidate. And so I remember seeing this one particular video, and this Caucasian, he had to be about my height, about 6'2", maybe 6'3", and he was standing there telling this young black man that was walking up. He said, "You can't come into this state building, to start processing your voting rights."
Right.
And he said, let's pray together. This Caucasian man looked at him and said, we don't need to pray together. You go pray, go pray in your home. Go pray in your church. I don't need to pray with you.
Right.
All right. And I'm listening. I'm saying, this is interesting. Yeah. Okay. And then the young brother, yeah, but we just wanna come in here to pray. He said, "Nah, you ain't coming up in here to pray." He said, and this is the thing that got me. This came from the Caucasian policeman. He said, "I doubt if your prayers will even get beyond your head."
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what possessed him to say something like that? Does he know something about the religious structure that was given to the slave?
Right.
That it was designed to be ineffective, prayer without works kind of thing?
Yeah.
Huh?
And more than that. But go ahead.
Okay. So that prompted me to go do some more research. Because I'm going like, okay, our Caucasian cousins, we have Caucasian brothers and sisters, and then we have Caucasian cousins.
Right.
All right. So our Caucasian cousins realize that the information or the instrument of religion that was given to the slave was ineffective.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I went and did I dug deeper, and I found out that 3 of the founding fathers. Now I got to critique this.
Right.
3 of the founding fathers of the United States of corporate America. I ain't said the United States of America.
Right.
The United States of corporate America.
Right.
Okay. They believe that there was an intelligent life out in the universe.
What was their names?
George Washington. Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
And Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
So Benjamin Franklin. This is a statement from Benjamin Franklin. He maintained that every star is a sun, and every sun nourishes a chorus of worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So what he was just saying is that if you go look in your Hubble telescope that we have today,
right,
you'll see 1 billion little suns or stars out there, and they are suns that nourishes a chorus of worlds, which are planets that circle around this sun or this star.
A solar system.
A solar system. Now, this was Benjamin Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I was watching this documentary because I watch, I'm constantly watching, the UFO shows, Ancient Aliens, and because I'm going like, okay, so what's the psychology behind this? All right. And so later on, not next week, but the week after next, I'm going to report back because that UFO community reached out to me because I put it out there. How come y'all don't include some reputable black people in this alien discussion thing? Right. And so we'll see. They reached out to me, and they want me to share my experiences. And so I'm going to wait to see how it works out. And if it does, then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to report back to the listening audience.
Right.
to let them know that, well, look out for this national broadcast.
Gotcha. And we want to disclose the name of these people?
That reached out to me?
Yeah.
No, we can't do that right now.
Okay, I got you. Well, I tell you what, if it don't work out, it ain't gonna matter because we're gonna do our own thing anyway.
We're gonna do our own Facebook.
It ain't even
we're gonna do our own internet.
Yeah.
And until we can help our Caucasian brothers and sisters and cousins out, because they have bought into the system and they feel that this is the only way they can survive, and that's not true.
Yeah.
Because see, part of the agenda with UPA is that we're teaching our people we don't need to retaliate. We don't need to get payback from Caucasian people. We don't need to do that, because this is what happens when you try to pay back. So for all of our church-going people, it's called vengeance is mine, said the Lord. But in the karmatic world, in the world of karma, what you do unto others will be done to you. So if somebody have done you wrong, okay, and you step back, now you could. I'm not telling people not to defend themselves,
right?
All right, but if somebody's done you wrong, you can go and say, I'm gonna kill them for what they've done to me. All right.
Right.
So here's what happens when you do that. Whatever sin they committed against you, when you go and issue retribution, that sin that they committed now is cleared off their karma books.
Hold on. I was following you for a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, because hold on. So you say if somebody comes do something to you, and then you go and get your retribution,
yeah,
you clear them of their karmic debt.
Well, not completely.
I'm saying, my thing is, so what are we saying? If they were able to commit the act, in other words, if universe and God would allow them to commit the act against you, it was permitted in the first place, so you shouldn't go get your.
Well, you need to meditate on it, because that's okay. That's all right. That's why we have these discussions between my generation and your generation. All right. So when you go and issue retribution, a harmful retribution, which breaks the laws of the universe, don't kill, don't cheat, steal, lie, and all of that. Now you have taken on the karma, bad karma. Now hear me out. You've taken on the bad karma, so that lowers the level with the perpetrator who initiated karmatic debt.
Well, look at this scenario. So, and especially in the instance, we can say this is going on today. So, you have a certain amount of souls on this planet that are relatively new, and I'm not gonna get too deep into that today. But the way they look at it, they look at it like children. If you let them get away with one thing, they will continue to do it. So. Yeah. If they do something to you and then you don't get your retribution, they be like, oh, well, two things happen. They like, well, for one, I ain't get struck down by a bolt of lightning. And then for two, this person ain't do nothing. I slapped him. He ain't slapped me back. So
I just got a text. Don't none of that turn the other cheek cry.
Yeah. Look, listen. On my last post, I got a hashtag. No more cheeks to turn. We ain't turning cheeks. We can't turn cheeks. We have to look at it from a primal level. And when I say primal, that doesn't necessarily mean negative. It just means the first few stages of creation of life. So, and that's a part of that's the only way we manifest on this plane anyway. So I'm just saying, any organism out there in nature, it's not going to continue to let you damage its or hinder its opportunity to continue forward in life. So it develops defense mechanisms, all of that. Take a porcupine. It ain't even gonna let you bite him, right? It ain't gonna let you even get up close to do that. So, I'm just saying, to some extent, retribution prevents another opportunity for somebody to come and attack you.
Okay, I get that. Right. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't defend yourself in the act. Okay?
okay, well, I got you. Well, let's say this. Say you was in your bed and you was asleep, and somebody came and set your house on fire. Now, mind you, you couldn't defend yourself in the act. You was asleep.
Right.
They purposely came and tried to do something to you in your most vulnerable state. So I mean, and that's usually how what any predator does. Usually a predator don't want to get kicked in the mouth, so they can't eat no more, right? So they gonna come sneak up on you while you in a state to where you most vulnerable. So in that case, now mind you, interestingly enough, that has always been the case whenever our people in this country or worldwide have been in particular circumstances. We always get attacked in our most vulnerable states. Nobody comes up against us while we're locking arms. If we're locking arms, they don't say, all right, so let's lock horns. They don't do that. They don't say, all right, so let's bang shields up against shields. That's not what they do. They go send an infiltrator. They attack your most vulnerable spot. So, they're gonna keep doing that. I mean, but like this, like you say, we're talking about a parasite. When you sitting outside and you see a mosquito, the mosquito's like, oh, he saw me. He'll try to creep around to the back, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, yeah, I'm just saying this, and until you kill the mosquito, he keep coming back.
Okay, so let me help you with that one. All right, this is what I'm saying. All right, you use the scenario. You laying in your house, and somebody comes set your house on fire, and so you have an option: go and find out who that person is and go burn their house down, or first of all, in our case, black people, this is our planet. Okay, this is not somebody else's planet. This
Right.
planet was given to us.
Exactly.
All right, and so if somebody come burn your house down, all right, first of all, you got to figure out what the hell happened and who did it. All right. So then the second thing is that you are the keeper of this planet. So there is a disease on your planet.
Right.
All right. So you go get with other like-minded people and say, we have a disease on our planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is a group of people that feel that in order for them to survive, they have to terrorize us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how are we going to deal with that as a collective? All right. So you bring them the old wise men, in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down and you talk it over, and then you go and approach that disease because you already know the root of the disease. The disease. So you go and approach that disease, and you come up with an antibody or approach to say how we're going to cure this disease.
Okay. So when we say cure the disease, what does that look like?
Okay. So you first of all you bring you go and approach those people one-on-one. Say, hey man, we know you burned down this house. Why did you do that? Then that person has the ability to respond. He could say, well, he burned my house down, or he's making a movement to stabilize his people. And we don't want that. We don't want this group of people to be equal to us.
Okay.
Whatever his problem is, he's going to state that. So then all the wise men come together and say, okay, so here's the root of the problem. All right. So why don't we address this, and give them another option?
Who another option?
The perpetrator.
Okay.
Give them another option that if you don't, instead of burning our house down, why don't you go look at maybe moving out of state, out of the country, off the planet, anything. All right. And then the wise men, then you say, now here's what we're going to do. We know this disease exists. So now we're going to build arms so that if that entity or perpetrator comes again, we're going to defend ourselves.
And I hear you. Nature ain't even that forgiving. And then for two, it would be different if this was the first encounter, but it's not. We're talking about like literally 4,000 years worth of recorded transgressions. So at this point, it's like there needs to be some natural selection.
I get it.
See what I'm saying? So now again, I mean, this is why I agree with you. Um, retribution at this point. In other words, getting mad and taking up some arms or taking up some weapons and be like, all right, we finna storm into their neighborhoods and just start getting retribution. At this point, that's not wise. But what is most wise is what we do have to do at this point is coagulate our communities to up the prevention as much as possible. So we don't have vulnerable areas because obviously we preaching no retribution. So if we're gonna ever be in a state of no retribution, then our prevention needs to be very, very, very high.
You got to defend yourself.
I mean, it has to be high.
Yeah.
And you had to be able to ready to defend yourself with no questions asked. So if we're going to say, all right, so we're going to shell our vulnerabilities and keep them on the inside of the wagons, and we're gonna build our defenses and walls up, then we have to maintain the integrity of those walls because we know because again we have recorded transgressions of them trying to come. Once you build some a level of wall, if they feel like they can climb over it or knock it down, they'll do that. So for the sake of the babies, for the sake of the women especially, and the women and children, we can't afford to build a wall with bales of hay anymore.
So you're really saying black men need to come together,
absolutely,
drop their egos,
absolutely,
stop the BS,
absolutely,
stop tripping, trying to be the one savior by himself,
all of that,
and just say, hey, I respect all my brothers, because we all have different skills, trades, and contributions to give to our community,
right.
And let's build this wall together. Yeah,
strong wall.
Exactly. All right. So that's a topic that we're going to still have to deal with because that goes back to the Willie Lynch letter. When I said get some elders together, that have been on the planet for a while, that have seen these reoccurring incidents. And see, in the Willie Lynch letter, it says turn the old against the young.
Yeah.
That's why today, your in most cases, in your generation, and rightfully so, don't have a whole lot of respect for my generation because you all are waking up and saying, hey, man, how come y'all let all these other cultures develop
right.
their own economy, and we don't have jack.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So y'all don't have any respect for us, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But now we do have some brothers and sisters in my generation that get it, and they're coming together. Hey, if y'all want to sign up, we need volunteers. We're making bids on some property to put our children in position to own their own businesses. Hey, get with us. Go to UPAALL. That's UPAALL.com. UPAALL.com. Sign up. Tell us what you want to do. Tell us what kind of time you can volunteer. If you can't volunteer, send some money. Send $5. Send $10.
Yep.
Because we're not in this for self-edification and glorification. We're in this for one thing and one thing only. That's saving our babies, giving them an equitable and equal opportunity at the prosperity of this planet. So on that note, also, we got to talk about Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, Candy Lowe, I saw Candy Lowe post. She was live earlier, and she's over there out on the patio, and she's having her judges thing. So go hang out with Candy Lowe. I may swing through there as well, and support Al Finger Licking Good Soul Food Restaurant. It's located at 2302 East 7th Avenue. Right now, they're operating only on Saturdays and Sundays because all businesses are suffering. But our businesses don't have to suffer because we love to eat, and we love to eat good food. And when we have a beautiful decor like what they have at Al's Finger Licking Good Soul Food, hey, the place is beautiful.
It is.
They got a big patio where you can do little mini concerts with a stage. They got everything over there, man. Y'all go hang out there with Candy Lowe and go over there and talk to Jackie and just go spend money.
Yeah.
You know, we missed out on
On a blackout.
Yeah, but I didn't spend any money.
No, I ain't spend no money either.
Yeah.
But what you say we missed out on?
Well, we didn't announce it on the show. We forgot to announce it last time.
Oh yeah. Hey, the blackout should be every day. Blackout every day.
Yeah.
Blackout.
Well, yeah. So we got to break out of people. They'll go into Walmart. They be in there like I'm scared to go by there right now. But we got an alternative to that. See, yeah. So go check them out. 2302 East 7th Avenue. Candy Low is over there right now, and they having a little event with some politicians. So go over there, tell them politicians, these people, they want your vote. So go tell them, give them a list of things you want them to adjust in this jacked up system, and write it down. And if they don't deliver, vote their asses out. All right?
You can't get them. Can we get them to sign it? Can we do that? That ain't gonna work.
They don't never sign.
Man, all right, so I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah.
I'm saying, it's one thing if they won't, but can we say, hey, anyway?
Well, there needs to be. We got Life is an attorney now.
Yeah, we need. Yeah,
and he knows how to draft a document that falls in Life. If you're out there listening,
yeah, man,
draw up a document that's legal that we can get them to commit with in ink.
Exactly.
Because last time I got involved with a campaign, I did a film. I said, I'm going to film you saying that you're going to do this.
Right.
And it wasn't a problem. So we need to find out how we can get these people on film, on paper, so put it in our archives. And so when they don't deliver, we have a rallying cry to vote their asses out.
Or like, what's your other Libra Dragon brother, Quentin?
Yeah.
Recall.
Recall. Quentin, where are you? Get together with Life. You brothers, young brothers from that generation, man, y'all need to stop ego tripping and stop trying to get your own agenda. Come together as one. All the other cultures doing it. So, hey, you have no excuses, and y'all know what UPA is. Y'all know, hey, I'm an old man, and I'm keeping it real. I'm not going to submit no sellout to nobody. So, all right. There was other topics, and our engineer, animation, keep putting her fingers up, talking about how much time we got left here before we broadcast. Okay, so here's what else I posted. The three Andres will discuss the Dogon tribe in Mali, Africa, and their involvement with ETs since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? How much we got, engineer?
2 minutes.
2 minutes? All right. So, and then to add to that, why is taboo to discuss extraterrestrials in the black cultures?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Mm-hmm. So tell Andre. Now Andre's bringing some more. The other Andre, he's bringing some more information.
Yeah.
But why do you think?
Why it's taboo?
Yeah,
because it falls in the same category with witchcraft, and sorcery, and all of that, and then to some extent, I and most of our people just been conditioned, like, hey, that falls into that category, and that is of the devil, so we don't need to talk about that. Now, we know where that came from.
The devil's got a spaceship.
Man, the devil and God got spaceships, but seriously, that conditioning started in the churches that were being overseen, those initial churches that were allowed to be by the slave master who deliberately put an overseer inside of the congregation hall for black slaves to practice Christianity. That's where the curriculum for Christian spirituality started. And it was very deliberate on what was going to be talked about and what was not going to be talked about.
Because one of those books in the Bible said, y'all should be good slaves and love your slave master.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you think God wrote that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay. So, yeah. So these are some of the things we want to build on that. Why it's taboo, and what you just pointed out, I'm going to bring up. Andre, the other Andre will be coming up.
So we're going to tag team. Andre Polite's coming in. I'm going out. Down a bit.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other
and
in
had
no
no
time.
idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm
don't
and keep
ignore
to the
this
plan.
message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show, and this is Andre Hill Sr. Now we have our other Andre in, Andre Polite, and we got to figure out when we're going to get rid of this coronavirus. I posted, you see the post I put out there with the brother that was explaining how to beat this disease, and he was talking about zinc so, you know, so black people gonna figure out how to beat this thing, you know, and so we just got to put more emphasis on our people coming up with their own cures, you know. But zinc is a key issue, and vitamin C, and of course I drink my Cersei tea anytime I go out and I feel a little something, and it boosts your immune system. So, you know, that's the key to it. So first of all, boost your immune system and don't partake in things that will lower your immune system.
Right.
So if you drinking, that lowers your immune system, and maybe it might be time to get off that drink.
That yak.
Yeah, but I had my wine last night.
No, you need a nightcap.
Yeah.
In these days.
So, you know, so Andre, what we were talking about earlier is, you know, what the post, and I basically posted last night, and I sent you a copy. The paradigm shift for black people won't happen until we elevate our consciousness to a higher level.
Right.
You know, and as simple as that. But also, what I didn't tell you was, you know, the founding fathers of corporate America, you know, the United States of corporate America, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Ben Franklin, they all believed in extraterrestrials. Yeah, and I read the quote, you know, but that Ben's quote was, he maintains that every star is a sun, and every sun nourishes a chorus of worlds. So the big issue here is that we have to address. Oh, here's the other thing that these three people, these three leaders, they were reluctant about British professors who were preaching and underpinning European Christianity, you know, because they knew there were some flaws. And so they protested. Now, I'm going to be doing some more research, and I got a surprise for you. The national UFO people done got in touch with us.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And because I put it out there, I said, how come y'all don't involve black people? Because we're trying to break this code. Why our people just can't get out of the box to understand we're not the only intelligent life in God's vast universe, okay? Or my terminology, the supreme being.
The only brother I know who has any type of influence in that world is Billy Carson, the brother Billy Carson who runs two big time. He runs two big time Instagram accounts. One of them is Anunnaki History, and the other one is Forbidden Knowledge. So like when they have a lot of those forums and a lot of those workshops and all that stuff, seminars, he's in those.
Okay.
But he's very knowledgeable though, very very knowledgeable brother, very knowledgeable. So he's the only one that I know of that's created that field of expertise, if you may. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they don't want us in there. But if you look him up and see the work that he's done, he's got a lot of work out there. Dr. Delbert Blair. Every time we talk about extraterrestrials, I always got to talk about Dr. Delbert Blair. And so if you go on YouTube and look up Dr. Delbert Blair, you'll see a lot of work that he has on there. He talks about because he's a contactee like you.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has a lot of work, he's put out there on metaphysics. Life.
Yeah.
And a couple of books he got out too.
Good. So one of the things that we have to deal with is helping our people, black people, get out of the box. Now, I understand how the laws of karma work, and I also understand that a lot of black folks that we are hoping will wake up and get with the program.
Right.
You can talk to them until you're blue in the face. Right. They're never going to hear you because of the laws of karma. Some of them were Caucasian people that were racist in a previous life. And so what karma does in your next life is, okay, so you hate these people? Okay, so we're going to let you come back as a black person to see how it feels. And that's how the universe corrects defective souls or spiritually challenged souls. All right? And so we got a lot of black folks walking around that we saying, why you can't get with the program?
Right.
This is very simple. We're not the only intelligent being in this universe. Right. But somehow or another, man, that thing got a real hold on our people. So Andre, here's the dilemma. Okay. I'm 60-something years old, all right? And, I'm been going like, okay, why don't even the conscious black folks, you and I, Andre, the other Andre, we're all conscious, So why is it that we're suppressed? Why can't we, get our people to buy into this, to understand how powerful they are?
I think a lot of people are. I think one of the biggest things is us just collaborating and uniting as a whole. But a lot of people are waking up, man. A lot, black and white. I'm gonna be real and say it's a lot of white people out there who are woke too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they see what's going on. They know what time it is. But it's a lot of us who are definitely waking up. I feel like everybody wakes up on their own time clock. But a lot of us, I feel like, are woke and waking up, to what's really happening and what's going on. I think the biggest thing is unity. And so, and when you talk about that, I think about the presidential election and debate. We don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care if you're black or white. We don't have a dog in this fight. So what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? So my thing is withhold all the votes. The hell with the votes. The hell with the presidency. The hell with the whole system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to create our own
economy.
Our barter system. You feel me? Because we don't need them. They need us. And we see that clearly with them opening everything back up too soon with the pandemic. And then now they're talking about closing things back up. You know what I'm saying? So which way is it? Is it too dangerous to go out and do anything? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or do we need to get out and do? They don't know what they're doing. It's a dog chasing his tail. So as a people, why would we have somebody like that's incompetent of doing anything constructive for the people? Why would we vote on either one of them?
Yeah. All right. Well, so my thing is passing the baton to your generation. And so, but when I pass it, I want to give you a good position on the track. I don't want you to be in fourth place.
Right.
I want you to be in and so what I'm saying to my generation, they got caught up in the brainwashing. Yeah. So they can get involved with this. But here's the thing that I discovered. All right. So all of the Ancient Alien series, David Icke, all of them people, these Caucasian people, they've had these interactions with these ETs, but most of them are grays or they're I'm not going to say hostile ETs, but they're not on the higher planes like our ETs. So what? That's why I said, well, Andre, let's talk about the Dogon tribe.
Yeah, I love the Dogon tribe. I actually, like we talked about last night, I brought 2 books that highly reference. This one right here, The Serious Mystery, is a powerful piece of work.
Show it to that screen right there, too. Yeah.
This dude did a lot of research, spent years of living amongst and studying the Dogon tribe. And so the work that he put together is a masterpiece. And so what I'm going to do is after the show is over with, I'm going to post links in the comments of the Straight Talks and, all that to not only some of his work, but to some of the videos that are already out there. Because there's work out there on the Dogon tribe, but it's not really talked about that much. But anytime you have confirmation of extraterrestrial life, it's not going to be out there for mainstream because they suppress that information because they don't want us to know that it's real. You know what I'm saying? And if you read this book, without a doubt, you'll know that it's real. But the Dogon tribe, they're in Mali right now, but they are actually in Mali by way of ancient Kemet, ancient, Egypt. They fled the pyramids. They were the original pyramid builders. They are actually probably the last intact tribe or Africans that were part of the actual dynasties that built the pyramids. And so they fled over there to Mali to get away from the wars and to get away from a lot of things that was going on. And they talk about that in this book. So they actually are like the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The ones who stayed intact, the most that have actual proof of their, residency in, ancient Egypt. And so with them, their contact came from, they had a visit, I want to say about 6,000 years ago or something like that. But what happened is they had a visit 5,000 years ago from extraterrestrial life forms that came from the star system of Sirius.
Right.
And so there's 3 stars there in Sirius. You have Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C.
That's I got my notes here.
Yeah, it's in the Canis Major. It's in the Canis Major star system. So long story short, they had astrological knowledge of this star system of Sirius, and they was actually able to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like well before we had the technology to even see the star of Sirius. So the star of Sirius wasn't even visible till like 1970 from NASA's telescopes. But how would this tribe have hundreds of years of knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and proof of knowledge of this star system if they did not have that contact from these extraterrestrial life beings? You know what I'm saying? So they were called the Nomos. The Nomos are the ones who came from Sirius, and they helped push the civilization. They helped push with the intelligence to civilize the planet Earth. And so it's a deep story, man. It's a real deep story. And when I got the chance to interview Professor Kaba, he actually broke it down as well. And so what they would do, they would have a Sigi ceremony, I want to say every 60 years. They would have a commemorative ceremony of when they actually had the first contact from the first aliens that came from the star system of Sirius, and they would create a mask. And when they create the mask, they would have a ceremony for the whole 60, each 60 years they would have a ceremony for it. So they had a room with I think 12 masks. You do the math, 12 times 60. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How many years is that? We're talking about almost halfway, like 500, almost close to 1,000 years. Yeah. But they had like 3 or 4 different rooms with these masks in it. So you time travel back to how long they've had this knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
It's since the beginning of time.
Right.
Yeah. And here's the part. Listen, my people, my black folks and my Caucasian brothers and sisters, the ones that are transitioning out of racism, listen to this. This knowledge is from the beginning of time. The Dogon tribe, they had their mask and all. It mimics.
The Naga mask.
Yeah. And so, but, and so you have to think about this, especially to my good church-going people, all right? The Europeans, when they discovered that the Dogon tribe had this knowledge and technology, they tried to brush it off and say, oh, they got it from us. Listen, these are the same people, the descendants of the same people that went over and blew the noses and the lips off of the Sphinx in Egypt.
To try to deface it to make sure that the melanated features wasn't shown.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. They wanted to make sure that it wasn't proof that they were black people. So that's what it was all about. That's why they blew the noses off.
Yeah.
But what's deeper than that is Nixon knew about aliens and extraterrestrials. In the Nixon presidency, he actually there's research and there's shows out there where he talks about where he talked about the Area 51. The Roswell crash. Right. I can't remember who it was, but it was an actor that he took to the location where they actually had, what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's deep, and the information's out there. And then I think we talked about it before, the dude Valiant Thor, who came from Venus, who was actually living in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Like, he was living in the Pentagon amongst them for like a couple of years.
Right.
And this dude, he was a white alien, but he was a positive alien. He was for love. He was trying to bring peace and harmony to the planet, and they ain't want nothing to do with it. The dude was so real. He had a suit on when he got here that was indestructible. They tried to shoot it. They tried to blow it up with bombs. They actually used lasers, like diamond cutting lasers, to try to penetrate the suit, and they couldn't penetrate.
Okay.
So that just goes to show you how elementary we are with our technology to the extra, terrestrials that's out there, the advanced beings that's out there.
So there are people in the Pentagon that works with the United States of corporate America. Mm-hmm. And the reason they don't want this knowledge out there is because they can't make money. They have to explain to the people how they use your tax money to extract this technology and then sell it out to you in computers, contact lenses, night vision, fiber optics. All that technology came from advanced civilization trying to help us evolve. But these 1%ers wanted to take the technology and profit from it.
Look at the boom of technology in the last 50 years. I'm 40, right? So I was born in 1980. When I was born, like when I was little, we had like the TVs was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? It was black and white TV. Then the color TV came out. You know what I'm saying? But now look at your phone. Your phone does everything that the TV, the computer, and DVD and CD. You know what I'm saying? The last 5-10 major inventions over the last 50 years, the phone does all of that in one.
Yeah.
Where did the technology boost come from? Where did that jump come from? You know what I'm saying? It took it took Earthlings how long to create the plane, and you know what I'm saying, all these things. Now all of a sudden you got all this technology
in 100 years,
right?
Yeah,
50. Less than 50.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So,
well, now how do your generation? You remember black and white TVs?
Yeah, that was when I was little. But now my sons, they look at a refrigerator while the ice maker. They're like, "Yo, what is that? Pops, what is this?" So it's a whole nother level. But speaking of this, I wanted to bring something to your attention. I'm sure you know about. Let's talk about the Nazis and Hitler and extraterrestrial.
Absolutely.
Go
ahead.
So a lot of people don't get that Hitler actually had contact with like some of the devilish, demonic, you know what I'm saying, aliens. And so that's how he was able to get a lot of the technology. So it's said that Hitler and a lot of the Nazis actually fled to the North Pole and Antarctica, where they actually had touched base with some of the extraterrestrials up there. Because when you talk about extraterrestrials and you want to be real about it, you got to talk about the North and the South Pole.
Yeah. Because
the planet Earth is a hollow planet. There is life on the inner Earth. There's life forms in there, and that's where the advanced life forms and advanced life beings live, in the inner Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Delbert Blair goes deep into that in a lot of his videos and in his book called The Inner Earth. So when you talk about that, you see how deep this really goes.
Yeah.
So then you talk about the world governments, and you talk about the Vatican, you talk about over there in England, like all them you talk about, then you bring into the reptilian races.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's when you talk about extraterrestrials, it goes real deep, man. You got to talk about Mars. When you talk about us, you got to talk about Mars, Jupiter, Sirius, and then, you know, here on the planet Earth, you got to talk about the pyramids, and that's the connection, you know, for us. That's where our connection comes.
So part of what we're going to be doing, and you know, this movement, our broadcasting movement, we're going to deal with community issues, you know, and you know, we're charged. There's an old saying: "To whom much is given, much is expected." And your generation, people like yourself, you know, you're charged with bringing this knowledge to people in your generation. I'm trying to shake up my generation. A lot of them got one foot on the banana peel and the other in the grave, you know. But you know, we can resurrect you from that point, because there's technology that can bring you back from the brink. You know, the cancer, the high blood pressure medicine, all of that stuff was designed to control your lifespan, to keep you stupid and like a cattle. You know, so a small group of insecure 1%ers can manipulate you and enjoy your planet while you suffering. You know, and so that's where we are. So there's going to be a series, and part of. We do our extraterrestrial broadcast, you know, every now and then, but we're going to break in a series of shows, and definitely, well, if this national coalition, you know, if they men of their word, without question, we're bringing in people like you and other people, to be a part of this, because, we can't one of us just say, I'm going to be the one. No, it has to be a collective. We have to have representation from each one of the generations. Now, tell us about one of your books talks about the Dogon tribe.
Absolutely.
And how by teaching our children now to prepare them to expand their minds, because, see, a lot of madness on this planet is because the soul, if it's been lied to, it goes into a state of madness. Right. So how do you introduce that into your book with the Dogon tribe?
Star seeds. That's the whole concept of star seeds. Actually, and then on the back of it, I got the Dogon tribe. Oh, okay, my bad. They're wearing the Kanaga mask that we talked about that symbolized the Sigi ceremony. But for me, the whole purpose of Starseeds was, for one, to show the pyramids, to show the Sphinx, to show a lot of the things that connect us to our divine consciousness. And so the main idea and focus of the book was to get kids to realize that our mind and our third eye is very important, our spiritual self. So we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So what I want to do is to kind of implant the seeds of knowing that we can control and manipulate our destinies and our whole environment and surroundings by utilizing our mind, which is the most powerful tool on the planet. And so for me, I took the story of the Dogon tribe and I kind of weaved that into the story of two of my childhood heroes, which is Malcolm X and Tupac Shakur. And so I wanted to take the story of the extraterrestrials, and the highest, the higher consciousness beings, which would be the Dogon tribe and the Nobos, and I wanted to weave that into real life freedom fighters, and then get the kids to realize that they can not only be freedom fighters, but they can do anything they want to as long as they work on and power up their mind. And so I talk about the third eye, I talk about meditation, I talk about Atlantis, I talk about Mars, I talk about Sirius. So all the things that kind of connect the Dogon tribe to the pyramids and to people of melanated descent, I kind of weaved into the story to teach the kids that you can be a superhero as long as you use your power, the most powerful tool on the planet, which is your mind. So that's kind of how I got the concept of, creating the book Star Seeds. And then so they come from the stars and they are the seedlings.
And the seeds.
Yeah.
So I know Brenda's out there listening. Brenda, can we set up that bookstore? Because we have another sister coming in next week with a book.
Okay.
We need to set up a bookstore on the UPAALL.com page. Okay. And can everybody from my generation, can we sell 1 million copies of this book? Andre is like my own child. And I know, let's sell 1 million copies of his book.
Do it.
Put it in the hands of these children so they can get out of the brainwashing because if they don't get this knowledge, if they don't get this self-esteem, these other cultures are going to eat them up.
And one of the goals and the visions for it is let's turn Starseeds into the Black Panther for the kids. Let's turn it into the X-Men for our kids. You know what I'm saying? Because we see a lot of superheroes, but we're not the protagonists. Like, we're not the heroes in the majority of them. You feel me? Like,
right.
You'll see one melanated person in a whole group of the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Or you see the X-Men. Is there any black people in the X-Men? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like we're excluded out of all the superhero talk and all the superhero movies and franchises. So that's what the goal is. We need to show our kids that we are superheroes and they are created in our likeness.
All right, so we want to post Andre's book. Andre, tell them how they can order it now from your page, your site.
You can holler at me on Facebook at Andre Polite on Facebook, Instagram _Andre Polite, and my website is www.politevisions.com, as well as my email address is politevisions@gmail.com. So any one of those 3 or 4 platforms, you can purchase the book.
Hey, our goal for the remainder of this year is to sell 1 million copies. Let's get them out to your grandbabies, your great-grandbabies. It should be a Christmas present. It should be a birthday present. Let's sell this book. This is how we're going to get the generations behind us out of this calamity, this brainwashing calamity. We got to support each other, because this brother here, all he wants to do is educate. And
talk
listen
to the people, man.
Yeah. Listen, George Washington believed in extraterrestrials. They believed that we were not the only people on it. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, they rejected the European King James Christianity. I know that's hard for you to, I know it's a hard hit for a lot of our people. But for those people that ain't a hard hit for us, let's work together. go to UPAALL.com. That's UPA all, and sign up. Let us know what you want to do. I don't care if you're a floor sweeper or if you are a PhD. Let's sign up because we have a plan. A lot of people say, well, what are we going to do? We have a plan at UPA, but we need the numbers because our Caucasian brothers and sisters, the ones that want to be human beings and not white people, they want to be a part of something. They want to correct their souls because they're tired of their families being dysfunctional. So they want to join us, and we can demonstrate by numbers. So we can all sign up, go to UPAALL.com. We will respond to you and tell us what you want to do, how you want to volunteer, what you want to donate, what's going on in your life. We have a way of correcting that because we're not afraid to do the right thing. All right?
That we stand, divided we fall.
Hey, man.
It's going to come to the light regardless of how hard they try to cover it up. It's going to rise and shine like the sun. You can't stop the truth.
Paradigm shift is in full effect. Hey, man. Hopefully, Andre, you and the other Andre will be in here next week if you can get it. And let's work on getting some technicians. We need our own Facebook because a lot of our posts got blocked.
Yeah, they do that. They shadow ban.
Yeah. All right.
Shadow ban.
So we look forward. Hey, tune in next week. This has been the Straight Talk Morning Show with Andre Hill Sr., Andre Polite, Andre Hill Jr. Hey, man, we're bringing it. We ain't scared.
Yo, peace.